All right, we got green commons and uncommons here. Our first one of Bayou Groff, Plant Dog. As additional cost to cast a spell, sacrifice a creature or pay 3. So it's like a 5 and a 5/4 that you could. Oh, there are 0/1 drops in green? Yeah, there are 0/1 drops in green. You're right. I'm not so sure. This one seems pretty medium minus. I don't imagine that I like this card very much. It's probably like a 4. I find it pretty unlikely I will ever sack a creature very often for this. So pests are easy to make. I mean, those pests cost mana though. And cards. I don't know about this. Maybe it's a 5. Maybe just play it as a 5. Maybe it's just a 5 mana 5/4 that you could potentially have it cost less. Maybe. Maybe it's a 5 just because of that. I don't know. Target creature gets +2/+2 and gains reach. It also gets a counter. I'm off. No. It's not good with pest summoning. You paid 5 mana and discarded a card and gained 1 life for a 1/1 and a 5/4. That's not good. Stop commenting that this combos with pest summoning. It doesn't. You paid 5 mana to discard a card and gain a life. No. Target creature gains trample until end of turn. Draw a card. Triggers Magecraft. It's filler. Filler. Boring. This might be a 3. It's a cantrip. It's not a cantrip because you can't play it on turn 1. You can't keep a 1-lander with charge through because you can't cycle it on turn 1. It's a lot worse. It's not a cycler. It's much worse than that. You like charge a lot? Oh, I don't. I don't think it's very good. Search your library for a basic forest card. Put that card onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. I like it. Oh, no, I don't like it. It only finds basic forest. I thought it was any land. I don't like this. This is PU stinky. Yuck. I feel like this is a card they printed in the past that had Investigate. Is that what they did? I feel like they did. Yeah. They did print this in the past. It was Weirding Wood. And Weirding Wood, it was amazing. It was actually a constructed card. Because it was a mana fixer. This is not a mana fixer. Yuck. Yeah. Yuck. This is filler, I feel. Landline Invocation. Create a 0/0. Put counters on it where X is the number of lands you control. Oh, so it's a 6/6. Unless you Grinning Ignises it. Or treasured it. 6 mana 6/6 or better. It's also a sorcery. Huh. It's a Versed Claw. You're right. Versed Claw was really good. You're right. This fellow? This card was good. I mean, that it's a 6/6 on turn 6 is, you know, whatever. But it's also easier to cast and it's a sorcery, which I think are both upgrades. I mean, it's at least a 6. The Unsummon can't target tokens. This thing, it can't target tokens. It has to be cost 1 or mana value 1 or less, or 1 or more rather. The spell costs 2 less to cast if you've cast another instant or sorcery spell this turn. Target creature you control gets +1/+2 until the turn. Then it fights target creature you don't control. This is good, right? Yeah, it's like a 7. Yeah, it pumps the toughness. Wasn't there a +1? Wasn't there a 2-mana fight spell that gave +1/+2? I feel like in the past there was like a 100 green fight spell that gave +1/+2. Maybe I'm thinking something else, but was it? It was Epic Confrontation. Yeah, it was Epic Confrontation. Man, this chat is just on fire. Just like my memory has failed me. I can't even remember the names of cards. I know that it exists and that's it. Yeah, this card was good. Oh. It was like a 7. Professor of Zoomancy enters the battlefield. Create a 1/1 black. Oh, created pest. 4/3. Cool. Like a 7. Yeah, like always play this card, right? Card seems quite good. Yeah. Reckless Amplimancer. Okay. Double Reckless Amplimancer's power and toughness until end of turn. Linear growth. What am I, a first year? It reminds me of the one in a green Stonewood Indicator. Is that what he's called? Was there a better one? Stonewood Invoker. Oh, there was a better one. Devarkin Dissident. Is that what he was called? Yep, that's what it is. It's strictly better than this, right? This card was good. Wait a minute. It's a strictly better Devarkin Dissident. Devarkin Dissident was good. I mean, not technically strictly better. If your opponent responds with a -1/-1, it'll be a 2/2 and not a 3/3, but strictly better. Yeah. Maybe this card's like a 7. Oh. Is it a 6 or a 7, right? This is a 2-drop that's actually like, yeah, you would totally play this. Reach. Scoured Colony gets +2/+2 as long as you control 8 or more lands. Okay. This is like a 5, right? 4 or 5. This is mostly just a Grizzly Bear. 2/2 reach for 2. This would be a lot better if this fellow doesn't exist. Like this color, the Combat Professor makes that guy kind of embarrassing. This is like the biggest. This is the flyer that's going to be hitting you. Spined Karok, 3-mana 2/4. That's. I'm a huge fan of 1/4s, and this is a 2/4. Maybe it's okay. This is a card they printed in the past, and I didn't play it if I recall. This is probably a 6. You don't play every one of them that you open, but you'll probably play the first. I don't think you're gonna ever gonna. I don't think you should play the second copy of Spine Karok, but I think you're always gonna play the first one. It double blocks really well. Yeah. When Springmane Servant enters the battlefield, you gain 2 life. The Doomscar Oracle in the previous set was really bad, which was a 3-mana 3/2. If you play 2 spells, gain 2 life. It had Foretell. That card was really bad. And but Inspired Cleric was really good. Right? Am I thinking of the right card? It was a 2 and a white 3/2, gain 4 life. I don't remember what it was called. But apparently it's not what I thought it was. I'm gonna look it up because I want to know what the answer is. Inspired Mentor? Is that what it was? Inspiring Cleric. I'm just a big dum-dum. It is Inspiring Cleric. Yeah. Inspiring Cleric was really good. And that gained 4 life. But that was an aggro format. And this doesn't look like an aggro format to me. And this is gain 2 life and not 4. So. And that with Cleric was also a vampire. Yeah. There's a lot of things going on there. This is probably a 3. Might even be a 2. I think it's way worse than 2/4. I think it's way worse than this. Choose one. Deal 5 damage to target creature or flying. Destroy target artifacts. It's probably a 5, right? You don't main deck it? Maybe you do. It's a filler card. But it's an excellent sideboard card. So I think it should be a 5. Maybe not. Maybe you're right. Maybe it is just a 2. Are you ever gonna main deck this? I don't think you're ever gonna main deck this. Maybe you do. Maybe it's a 3. You might be right. No, you're right. It's probably a 3. Goes with the 1/2 flyer. Come on. Enters the battlefield, gain 3 life and draw a card. Put 3 mana, put Bookworm from your graveyard into your library, 3rd from the top. Palaka Worm? Is that you? Palaka Worm was almost a 9 out of 10. And I'll show you Palaka Worm. Waka waka waka. Waka waka waka. So Palaka Worm. Palaka Worm. Well, this wasn't uncommon. This was actually upshifted, but it used to be an uncommon. Yeah, it used to be an uncommon. When it first released, it was an uncommon. Was it Rise of Eldrazi? Modern Masters? Really? Was it always a rare? Oh, Rise of Eldrazi. It was an uncommon. Yeah, okay. Yeah, this was a bomb. This was a 9 out of 10. This is almost a 10 out of 10. This does cost 1 more. This does cost 1 more. This Sifter Worm is much worse than this. Sifter Worm sucks compared to this. You're talking about the Scry 3, reveal the top card. It is splashable. Yep, you're going to be 3 colors. You're going to play this. ETB draw as well. And you're right that you can loot this away or rummage this away with the lesson card, and then rebuy it later, right? Well, not necessarily rebuy it, but you know what I mean. Lay away it later. Is this an 8 or a 9? This might be a 9. This might be a 9, because you can't even. It's hard to get rid of it. Outside of like the Prophecy of Annihilation, outside of those lessons that exile it, just like it's hard to get rid of this, right? It puts a counter on the dog. You're right. This is probably a 9. If it costs 7, it would be a 10. If Bookworm cost 7, it would be a 10. The fact that it cost 8 is a problem. 8 is a lot more than 1 more than 7. It's like almost 2. It's like 2 more turns that you have to wait to go from 7 to 8 mana. Almost 3. It's like 2.2 or something. I think this card might be worse than Palaka Worm. Even though Palaka Worm is triple green. Because I think the one and you don't draw a card immediately. Because I think gaining the extra 4 life. Yeah, gaining 3 versus gaining 7 is a massive difference. I think it's either an 8 or a 9. I'm gonna call it a 9 for now, because there's so few 9s so far in the format. Let's call it a 9. Yeah, we're splitting hairs here for sure. Target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to target creature or planeswalker you don't control. When this permanent you don't control... Wait. When the permanent you don't control dies this turn, gain 2 life. Okay, so it's Prey Upon? No, it's not. Wait, it's just Fall the Hammer, but you gain 2? It's Rabbit Bite, but gain 2? Okay, yeah. This is like an 8. Oh, this is an 8. Sounds good. Oh. It's not, I think, it might be better. It might be better than the red one. No, it's not. It's not better than Heated Debate. Maybe Heated Debate is a 9, but probably not. This feels like it's definitely worse than Heated Debate, but it's not by much. Search your library for a basic land card, put it on the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. That land becomes a 0/0 and it's still a land. This is whatever. I guess it depends if this is a 3-color format, this is probably a 6. This is whatever. It's like, potentially it's a 2-mana 2/2 elf. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking. That comes into play tapped though, which it does suck. And also, like, if you didn't play a land before this, it's a 1/1. That's pretty bad. No, it's not a rampant growth. It's much more of an elf than a rampant growth. Your opponent being able to kill it is a big deal. It's not optional. I think this card would be like, I think this card would be a solid, like a strictly, obviously it'd just be a strictly better rampant growth if it was optional. But the fact that it's not optional makes it, I think, actually worse than rampant growth. Yeah, shop. You 100% correct. This card is actually super awkward because if you search for your, you have to play 2 of your off-color land, but if you find the off-color land and they kill it, then you're just locked out. So it's not necessarily fixing. It's not fixing in like a good way. It's too easy to interact with. It's probably a 6. But it's also, I mean, it is also a creature that is a sorcery. That has to mean something as well. Maybe I'm underestimating it. Maybe I'm underestimating it. I think it's a cool design. And I'll have to play with that to see if it's any good. It's more like a 2-cost 1/1 elf that comes into play tapped. But you gain 2 life. Target creature gets +X/+X, where X is the amount of life you've gained this turn. I don't want anything to do with this. Maybe it's a combo card. I don't want anything to do with it. If you would gain life, you gain that much +1 instead. Vigilance, 2/3. It's +2/+1 as long as you have 25 or more life. Oh, Fortifying Draught with Cram Session. Yeah. Maybe. Maybe this is a 4. You're probably right. You're probably right. 3-cost 2/3 Vigilance is a good floor for this. And if you Cram Session, it's a 4/4 immediately, right? Cram Session, we haven't looked at it yet, but I'll show you. You gain 4 life learn for 2 mana. It's a common. I think you're probably, this is either a 5 or a 6, right? You're probably a 6. Maybe it's a 7. Maybe it's a 7. But I'll say it's at least a 6. I'll see how many times I lose to this before I get frustrated. Whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, put a counter on target creature you control. Wow. Yeah. Yeah, at least an 8. At least an 8. You think this is a 9? How is your opponent ever supposed to block if you have mana in this? Maybe this is a 9. Yeah, you splash this, right? This is a 9, isn't it? Yeah, yeah, you're right. If you have this Plumb the Forbidden, that's a lot of counters. I think this card's probably pretty good. I think this card's probably pretty good. It's probably closer to a 9 than an 8. I'll call it an 8 right now. But it might be a 9 just because you're probably going to splash for this. You might be right that you're going to splash for this a lot of the time. But a card being an 8 out of 10 doesn't mean you don't splash it. Like, you would splash this Heated Debate. And I would splash Combat Professor, and these are both 8s. So I think it's reasonable. You have to be pretty unlucky for this not to be a 9. Yeah, you might be right. We'll call it a 9. It might be better than Bookworm. It's probably better than Bookworm. Bookworm, I'm actually going to put it down to an 8 then. I think it's better than Bookworm. I think you're right. Master Symmetrist. 4/4 reach. Whenever a creature you control with power equal to its summon's attacks, it gains trample. 4/4 reach trample? Plus? Sure. Solid 8, right? He's a 7? Just because it's like a French vanilla creature, basically? You might be right. Maybe just because it's a French vanilla, it's just an 8, it's a 7. Yeah. Tondo lost his very first duel and has spent his entire life trying to get even. No, you're right. It's a 7. You always play it. You'll play as many as you open. I think it's a 7, though. It doesn't draw cards, and it's not removal. And it is just a French vanilla creature. That's not exact. It's not overstated as a French vanilla creature. 4/4 reach trample for 4 is a fine card. Yeah. Like, I don't even know if it's better. I don't even know if it's better than Fuming Effigy. I don't even know if it's better than this. So. Oh, it gives trample to all your fractals. Good point. Thanks for bringing it up. No, you're right. It gives your it gives your Leyline Invocation trample. You're right. I hadn't thought about that. Maybe it is an 8. I hadn't thought about the fractals. Maybe it is an 8. Does it really give 70% of your creatures trample in this set? Okay. I'll make it an 8. Defender. Tap game 1 life. Sacrifice it. Learn. I like it. I do like it. But is it good? I like a lot of cards that aren't good. Oh, you're right. It works with the honor. Yeah, there's the gain life theme. It works with the honor troll, or it works with like that black 4/2, the brackish trudge. Yeah. Yeah, it does. I feel like it's a 2 mana. It's like a 2 mana gain 6. Learn whenever you want to. Well, sack it to learn, but that's pretty good. It's actually probably like it's like a 2 mana gain 15. Because if your opponent has a 3/3 that you're holding back over 4 turns, you know, that's 16 life. Not even exaggerating. Like, if that's what it's doing, then that's a lot. No, you're right. This is actually probably really good. I think you're going to play every one of them you open. I think you're right. Yeah, you don't have to tap sack. This card is really good, isn't it? This is probably an 8. I mean, it's not better than Master Symmetrist. Is it better than Honor Troll? Maybe Honor Troll's a 7 now that I've seen this card. This might be an 8. This is like a 7.5, right? This might be an 8. No, our green is actually still worse than our black. So far, on commons and uncommons, black is the best so far. Like, if you take the average. Green might be better if you, like, if you take off the top and the bottom. Higher BDing, I guess. But black still has... This green has the like like some cards that are weighing it down, like Fortifying Draught and Servant. Maybe I'm underestimating the Fortifying Draught as well. I might totally be underestimating this. I'm willing to believe it. Oh, cool. Green looks cool so far. Kind of simple. Getting life and having giant creatures. But last format had Ravenous Lindworm, and that was Ravenous Lindworm would like define green in the last format. It was fine, right? So maybe it's okay in this one too.